on, everybody? It is Chris Akin back once again with another edition of Chris Akin Presents. Thank you so much for watching. I very much appreciate your time. I would also appreciate a like, comment, subscribe, share, follow, whatever it is, any of the podcasty stuff. If you do that, it helps the channel grow, helps us keep bringing you the content. You guys know the drill. You've heard it on every stupid video that you watch. Anyway, let's get down to it, shall we? Big change. This is a huge change in the world of movies. And quite honestly, this, if you are a fan of the movie theater, you might want to get there quick, because if this does indeed fall in place, this is it for movie theaters. Movie theaters will be officially dead. Now, here's what I mean by it. There's an article that came out over the weekend. Netflix reportedly wants to keep movies in theaters for just 17 days after it buys Warner Brothers. Now let's define this, shall we? There is a deal in place in principle. Now it just has to get through regulatory, which it may or may not. This is a really big deal in the world of entertainment. Netflix is trying to buy Warner Brothers Discovery. And with that, they want the movie studios, they want the movies, they want HBO or HBO Max or whatever, but they want the big ones to pay attention to is the theaters or the movies, the movie studios, and HBO. Now, here's the reason it's important. With Netflix coming out before this deal is even final and saying they only want movies in the theaters for basically 2 weeks. Basically, what's going to end up happening is you are going to start seeing movies released on Wednesdays. They're going to run that weekend, the next weekend, and the next weekend, and out of the theater. No matter how big it is, I don't care if it's Star Wars or whatever. They're saying 17 days, and I don't believe Star Wars is with Warner, but whatever. You get the picture. It'll be 17 days, and it's out of the theater, and it's moved to Netflix. Now, let's be real here. Let's just be really honest. Be honest with yourself as well. For 99% of the movies that you see, 99% of them, you watch them at home. You do not run to the theater. Every once in a while, probably 2-3 times a year, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, just depends on how invested you are into certain brands within the movie industry, whether it's, the Marvel universe or the DC universe or the Star Wars universe or whatever. If you're more invested in that stuff, maybe you go see stuff a little more. But the average consumer is not a first day movie watch guy. Most of us, we see a show or a movie and we're like, that looks pretty good, but not good enough to go drop $15 to see it and another 30 at the concession stand to buy popcorn and a drink. It just isn't worth it. Especially most of us, I shouldn't say most of us, I'll say for me personally, I'll see a commercial or something for a movie and I'll be like, oh, I want to see that. And I'll grab my phone and I'll put it in a little list that I have on Google Keep. And when it comes out on whatever service, then I will watch it. That's what I do. Every once in a while, I'll get the urge to be in the movie theater. Not very often. I'm not a big I hate the movie theater for the reasons you all hate the movie theater. People coming in with their fucking kids. People answering texts, people answering phone calls, lighting up their phones, playing Candy Crush or whatever the hell they're doing on their phones, and little lights lighting up in the theater. A lot of times the screen isn't really that great. A lot of times the sound is a little bit iffy in a theater. Just overall, the experience is better at home. Almost all of us now have at minimum a 50-inch screen, 50-inch or larger TV. I think almost everybody has that now. And if not, there's nobody rocking a 19-inch screen anymore. Let me put it another way. I'm not saying that 50 is the standard. If you got a 42, that's cool too. I'm just saying that there are no more 25-inch consoles being sold, and there are no more 19-inch or 13-inch TVs. They're all big now. So the experience at home is pretty good. Add into that even with the grocery prices being out of control, you still get a bag of popcorn for 39 cents if you pop it yourself in your microwave. And you can get a Coke for $1. So for $1.50, you can watch the movie if you have Netflix. Or, that's kind of the gist of it here. If you only have to wait 2.5 weeks, where is the incentive to go to a movie? The reason the movies have been so profitable for so long was because you would have to go to the movie theater, or else it was a pretty good amount of time before you saw it. I mean, I'm old enough to remember when movies at home became a thing, when the Betamaxes were out. I'm 57, so my first machine was a Beta. And, but even the VHS stuff. I mean, if you saw a movie, if there was a great movie, like a Star Wars, we'll throw Star Wars out there. When Star Wars Episode 4, the first one, came out, it had a long theatrical run because it was hugely popular, however many weeks or months it was in the theater, and then it was just gone for a long time. And that was kind of the MO for a long time. You'd go see, I remember seeing King Kong in the theater. And the reason we went to it was because my dad was a fan of King Kong and he didn't want to wait a year to see this movie. He wanted to see it. So we went to the theater. That was kind of what powered the movie theater. That's why when you saw these big blockbuster numbers, that was why. Because if you didn't see it now, you might wait a year way back in the day. And even more recently, it's still been like 3-4 months up until very recently. And now I've noticed very recently, it's about a month, maybe 6 weeks. Movies in the theater, it's gone. Next thing you know, you're watching, I don't know, Amazon Prime or something, and you get the little commercial that says, hey, streaming now, this movie. They have eroded it as far as they could without completely getting rid of it. But I think now, especially in the time where we're looking at all of these streaming companies are struggling to make money, they're going to do everything they can to take money. And one of the ways they're going to take money is they're going to merge these studios, and eventually there won't be theaters anymore, or it'll be niche. Theaters are going to be, it's going to be kind of like the drive-in movie is now, where, every one of us has a drive-in movie that's within a few hours of us necessarily, but there's not one like all over the place anymore. You gotta make an effort to go see a movie at the drive-in, and to make an effort to see a movie at the drive-in, a lot of times you have to travel to do it. It's a niche thing. It's not a, oh, well, it's Saturday, I got to run out to the drive-in again. That's just not what we do anymore. This is going to change everything if this goes through. If it's just 17 days, honestly, what is even on a movie that you really want to see? If you're paying $15 a month for Netflix and you know that a movie's made by Warner Brothers, why would you go spend another $100 to see it when you can wait 2 weeks and see it at home for nothing, for what you're already spent? It's going to kill the movie theaters. And that's too bad, because so many of the movie theaters have kind of thrown good money at bad problems trying to make the movie theaters better, with the big cushioned seats now, and most of them have a bar and where you can get some drinks and you get a little buzz on when you watch a movie. It's all to try and keep you there. It's trying to keep you, make it more of a social place to keep coming to. It's going away, folks. I got news for you. It just is. So I would say this is an unfortunate thing, only from the perspective of, I'm an old guy, and when it does come to this, I will sit back and I'll be that old guy telling the younger people, I remember in my day, we used to have to drive to the movies. It's just another one of those things, but times are changing. This is changing. I would bet, if I was betting, I would say by 2027, you will see 50% of the movie theaters out of business if this goes through. If this goes through by like June, July, whatever, you will see movie theaters just start to say, you know what, it ain't worth it anymore, because they will have some very empty theaters almost all the time. So we'll see how that plays out. But not a good sign if you are a movie goer. Looks like you're going to be going to your couch going forward. So that is that. And that is going to do it for this episode of Chris Akin Presents. Thank you so much for watching. One more time, like, follow, subscribe, comment, repost, all those things, please. It just helps us grow. Very much appreciate it. And I very much appreciate you watching. So for Chris Akin Presents, I have been Chris Akin. I will be Chris Akin again tomorrow. And hopefully, you'll be right here with me watching this once again. So that's going to do it. I am Chris Akin, and I will see you. See ya!
Hey, you. Why are you watching this with commercials? Go commercial-free and unlock exclusive content. Become a VIP today on Locals, Substack, or Rumble Premium. Stop waiting.